Okay, there's one point on that. What was the reason for them getting involved? Why is it they have to do these things, and is it just because of materials, or what is the ground of that?
In the beginning, it was all about psychological manipulation. I actually explained, step by step in the book there, how the manipulation took place to get in on a deal like that.
Right.
Okay. And first of all, you got to figure, here are these people who were sucker punched in an infiltration tactic in Africa by the Greys to get some of them to fall prey to this invention called the white Masonic ego.
Right.
You're better than your brothers and sisters. We can show you how. Look at the toys and trinkets we have. We have all this advanced technology. This doesn't have to be kept secret. Meanwhile, the Aman had a damn good reason to keep it secret for this very reason, because it would be abused.
Yeah.
Psychologically, emotionally, and technologically. Okay.
So it's not just 1 minute. It's not just the ego gone wild, then, is it?
It's not just that. No. It was a case of being tantalized with a false sense of superiority.
Right.
And as such, what was our dark-skinned brothers and sisters, some of them actually fell prey to this corporate propaganda.
Yeah.
And they began to... Malcolm X was actually going down this road, but he gave up on it because he didn't have the proper information to pursue it further. Right. He was referring to it too much more with a religious slant instead of an economic slant.
Yeah.
But, and of course, he never would have known how to apply it to the alien abduction phenomena either. But the point is, even he was going down this road, and I take it further, where there's plenty of legendary stories where they wanted this group that broke away and turned their back on Mother Earth, turned their back on their Moorish brothers and sisters and everything. They wanted to be like their newfound masters, which were already ashy, pale-skinned, light-skinned, basically the Walking Dead, the Greys.
Right.
And so they began to worship the Greys by ritualizing this association via scientific experiments. And they began to experiment on themselves. They're like, we want to look like our masters so that we can be assimilated into the Borg mentality, into the Borg collective.
Right.
Because even to this day, we have a perverse version of that called equality.
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't look like me, talk like me, have my gender or sexual orientation, then you are the enemy.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's what they were doing. They wanted to become the Greys so, they could have that false sense of superiority, a.k.a. equality.
And many of them stayed out of the sun as well, didn't they? They just...
Right.
Yeah.
So these experiments resulted in some very unexpected outcomes where they bled all the color right out of their skin.
How did they manage that?
That's you might have to ask the Greys that.
Right.
The Sisterhood showed me how they were doing it with test tube experiments and injections. But I wouldn't know the details of that.
Yeah.
Okay, as to how it actually resulted in bleeding the color right out of the skin.
That's wild.
Yeah, and but there was some wild stuff going on there with scientific experiments. It was basically the the darker side of the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And once that happened, then they were totally off the hook. They had become warlike, domineering. They were destroying everything in sight. And the Morris family was like, these are our brothers and sisters, but we don't know what the hell to do with them because they're unruly. They won't listen to reason. What do we do?
Mm.
Well, you are your brother's keeper and your sister's protector, so you're still part of the family. They were offered two things: either change your ways, get your act together, or be banished. And this is where you get that whole concept of that comic book mythology about being banished from the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
Okay? And it was really a case of where the corporate propaganda was twisted around to make it look like it was a woman's fault.
Mm.
But in truth, it was the fault of the Greys, who hated women, hated the female energy, hated the Moorish legacy in the Temple of Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that story got twisted into what it is today. But the truth of the matter is it was the pale skin being banished from northern Egypt, northern Africa.